Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by MMA veteran Lyle Beerbohm. Lyle, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Lyle, you had a fight recently at Worldwide MMA 1. You won the fight by first-round submission when you defeated Selbrun Walker. How did you feel about your performance in the fight?
I thought it went pretty good. You know, I was going to do a little stand-up with him, and I ended up kicking him in his elbow and broke a couple bones in my foot, broke one of my toes, and broke one of the, not the big bone, but the second big bone in my foot. And so I ended up making it a grappling match and did good. I got him in submission in the first round, and I felt good.
He was like your third or fourth opponent, wasn't he? Weren't you supposed to fight Jamie Varner and then it was Derek Noble? Was there a time where you're like, I don't care who I fight, just as long as I get a fight, right?
Yeah, you know, I was looking forward to fighting Jamie Varner. That's the fight I wanted. I was, for him being the former world champion, and I was looking forward to that fight, but that fight didn't happen. And then Derek Noble, he's a veteran, and and then like you just said, at a point I didn't care. I needed to feed the family, so I just needed to get a fight, So I was happy when they just found an opponent for me,
You touched a little bit on the foot injury. When did they say a timetable for recovery, and how serious is this injury?
Well, it was a clean break. It wasn't a fracture or anything. It was a clean break, and so I'm wearing it's what I call an air cast, and they said with 6 weeks with the air cast I should be good, and so but I'm moving around really good, So I would think in maybe another 10 days I'll take the air cast off and start moving around real well. So, but it's healing up real good, and now I got to fight May 17th at the Coeur d'Alene Casino for King of the Cage.
So you're planning on still making that fight. You're going to be fighting Chris Ensley. How much do you know about him?
Not much. It's an opportunity where I can. It's a local fight for me, and it's an opportunity where I can, do some stand-up, practice my stand-up with him. That's my goal is to get in there. Usually, I take people down and beat them up and submit them, and this fight I'm gonna do a little stand-up.
In your Strikeforce career, you were 3-2. Your only losses were to Shinya Aoki, who's top 5, top 3 in the world. Pat Healy, who's working his way towards a title shot. Then you were supposed to be scheduled to face Jay-Z, and then you got injured. What exactly happened with Strikeforce? Why are you no longer with them? Because I was kind of surprised when I heard that you were potentially going to fight Jamie Varner. I was like, isn't Lyle Beerbohm still with Strikeforce? What exactly happened with them?
I had a bad contract. I was in a pretty bad contract with Pro Elite, and then that went over to Strikeforce, and so it was a good thing that and it was a mutual agreement, and for Strikeforce being released, and it's a good thing for me. Now I'm out, and I can I'm able to fight and make more money outside of my contract, and my only goal is to be in the UFC. That's my only goal, and so I'm one fight at a time, and that's what I'm trying to do.
What exactly did they say to you? Was it just your contract ran out, or were you cut? What exactly went on?
I'm not really sure if I should really talk about that. Really, I kind of want to keep that on the down low. But it was a mutual agreement, and everything went good. I'm good with Strikeforce, and everything was good.
And King of the Cage, you fought for them once before. Was this just a new, like a one-off fight deal with them, or did you owe them another fight?
No, it's just a one-fight contract, and so I fought for them, like you said, in the past, and now they're here, pretty close to my local town. They're in Coeur d'Alene. It's about 45 minutes away, from Spokane, and so they have a fight card over there, and they called me and offered me a fight.
Who are some guys that you're training with right now, and where are you training at?
I'm training up at BJJ Spokane. Bart Smith is a black belt, and he's the owner, and he's a legit black belt. He's really good on the ground. And I got some good partners. I got some good training partners up there. I got Jacob Harkness. I got Josh Reddinghouse. I got Julio Diaz, and they're all upcoming fighters. They're not well known. And I trained with Sam Cecilia. He's obviously on the Ultimate Fighter. I trained with Mike Chiesa. He's on the Ultimate Fighter now. And Cody McKenzie. Ozzy, and so we had a pretty good little crew of guys here in Spokane.
You've been fighting a lot at 155. You've done some catch weights at 160, 165. Where would you like to continue fighting at? What weight class do you think is best for you?
I'm a 55 pounder, that's the weight I should be fighting at, 155. I could fight at 170. I put on a little weight, and I could fight at 170. That means I can eat a lot of food and whatnot. And my fiance's parents, I was staying with them for my last training camp, and they feed you a lot. I'll just put it that way. So I fought at 170, and I was well fed.
And I know you've probably told this story, a million times, but if you could tell it once more, how did you get the nickname Fancy Pants?
My mom, she loves to sew. She has a sewing room at her house, and I was helping her. My dad built her a new sewing room, and so I was helping her move fabric and all her stuff, and I came across this crazy material, really colorful material, and this is in my amateur career, and I said, Mom, you need to make me a pair of fight shorts, and she laughed at me, and she thought I was just joking, and so I put the material over a sewing machine, and like 5 days go by, and I says, Mom, I'm serious, I really want you to make me a pair of fight shorts. So she made them for me, and I put them on, and my dad comes in, and he's laughing at me, and they're all laughing, they're saying, you're not going to wear those, there's no way you're going to wear those. And so I think the following weekend I had a fight, and I jumped into the cage, and I had some warm-ups, underneath my fancy pants, and I did a little lap around the cage, and then I took my sweatshirt off and put my warm-ups off, and right from the get-go, everybody was laughing, the guys were hooting and hollering. I mean, it's a pretty good hit. And right then, I got my nickname in Fancy Pants, and so it was pretty funny.
Throughout your entire amateur career, undefeated, your first 16 fights, no losses. Then your last 2 fights in Strikeforce, losses to Pat Healy and Shinya Aoki. What did you learn from those fights?
I went in against Pat Healy, and I was a main event on Showtime. It was the first time that was ever happened. I had a lot of cameras. There was a lot of interviews, and I just wasn't prepared for that. And every time I'd go to do an interview or something, and I would be eating, and then they'd call me to do an interview. So I just didn't fuel my body. I didn't put enough food into my body, and when I went out to fight, I just, my energy level was super low, and then with Aoki, I made a mistake, and I gave up my back and tried to get away, and with a guy like that, you can't be doing that. You got to be a little bit more patient, but I'm ready to go. I would like to rematch both of those guys if I could, so we'll see what happens.
What are you looking for opponents-wise from here on out as you try to, eventually make a jump to a bigger show? Are you looking for, an ex-UFC guy or, ex-Strikeforce guy, or are you really open to anything?
Yeah, I'm open to anything. It really doesn't matter to me, Like I said, I got local shows here that they don't pay a lot for guys to come in and fight, so I'm obviously not going to fight very tough guys then, but, on other shows, I don't care who I fight. I'm looking to fight. I want to fight the toughest guys so I can get into the UFC. I want tough competition, and, I truly believe I'm a top 5 lightweight in the world, and this year I'll prove that, so.
Would you be open to going to, let's say, like a Bellator or something like that, or are you only really focused on getting the UFC and you're just going to do small shows from here on until you get there?
Yeah, my goal is UFC. I don't want to get any contract, and with anybody else, and UFC is where the paydays are. That's where they make the money, and that's where I want to go. So I'm not looking to go anywhere else,
How many fights would you like to take for the remainder of the year?
I want to fight. Before I broke my foot, I had three other fights lined up, and I was unable to take those 2 fights. But I will be up to fight May 17th. But when I'm healthy and ready to go, I like to fight. There's no reason to sit around, and I'm in the gym training, and I want to go. I wouldn't mind fighting every month, once a month.
Lyle, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you would like to thank? Anything you want to say to the fans?
Yeah, I want to thank my gym, BJJ Spokane. I want to thank all my fans. I want to thank Iron Master. I want to thank my mom and dad and all my friends and family and my fiance. She's great, and I got a couple, two great boys with her, and just and everybody that supports MMA. If it wasn't for all the fans and everybody, we wouldn't be here, So I just want to give all the fans a great thank you.
Lyle, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it. Good luck at King of the Cage Wildcard, May 17th against Chris Ensley.